tools which people should apply while they do the sales?
So for a SaaS-based organization, I think it's absolutely critical that you watch your retention rate. So, because our business is based on the recurring model, it becomes absolutely critical for us that each year we retain as many customers as possible. So, these are some stats that are publicly available, but I thought it would be useful for this group. So for a SaaS company, if you want to benchmark, you need to be at least at an 88% retention rate. So which means that it only allows for 12% churn. So I think that's an important metric to watch out for. I think a couple of other metrics that we watch out for, and we actually try to run our sales organization based on a lot of these metrics, because I think data is very important, as Gaurav alluded to earlier, for you to be able to scale from a certain size and to be able to get to the next leap. So a couple of other metrics that we look at is what is the customer cost of acquisition. So again, within the SaaS environment, the median cost of acquisition is considered at 93 cents to $1. So what that means is, if you're going out and within a year you want to acquire $100 in new revenue, you should be willing to spend $93 alone on just sales and marketing. And if you're able to do that, you're sort of at least meeting the benchmark. The other important concept is, what is the lifetime value of the customer? So you bring in a customer, how long can that customer remain with you? Because eventually, if you think about this, if you're spending $93 to bring $100 in new revenue, you have operating costs, you have support costs, so most likely you're going to be in loss first year. So the assumption is that you'd be able to retain the customer over a period of time. So in our case, we have some goals of having the customer on an infinite basis, but realistically, I think all companies should shoot for about 3 to 4 years. So that's the larger data metrics that we look at. I think the other pieces of information we look at is how to actually manage the sales funnel. We manage that very closely as well, so that we know where we have to fine tune our funnel and what are the corrective actions. So if you look at the top of the funnel, so people coming on your site or email marketing, again, what's the typical benchmark on how many people respond to that? So typically, accepted benchmark there is about 1%. So if you've got 1% of whoever you reach out to coming back to you, how many of those really translate into, serious web inquiries, web leads that can potentially be converted into a demo? And then from a demo, how many convert into free trials? And then from free trials, how many actually convert to an actual closed deal? So we, in our system, have certain benchmarks set up on what those acceptable matrices are, and that allows to continuously refine if there is a problem in any of those stages within the funnel. So for example, if you're getting a bunch of people on your website, on your email marketing, but they're not doing the call to action to actually engage with you, then that potentially means that there's something wrong with the value proposition. Are you actually talking about how you solve the customer issue? Because I think a lot of product companies get wound up in talking about their own features and glamorizing about these features. Or we do this and we do that, and we are social marketing integrated, and we are mobile integrated. But I think at the end of the day, what the customer wants to know is, how are you solving their pain point? And I think my view is that at 50,000 feet level, it needs to all boil down to, how does your solution increase their revenue or increases their efficiencies such that they reduce their costs? So, those are all the different metrics that we use. In terms of pipeline management,